All right, well, hey everybody. Welcome back to another episode of ACT Interviews. If you follow the hashtag, you can look at different interviews that I've done over the years with around Cranberry Township, connecting you with your community. I'm Dr. Bulow. I run the Revive Upper Cervical Chiropractic Center here on Rowan Road. But today I'm getting to chat with Annie. Say hi, Annie.
Hi, guys.
Annie is with the Chamber of Commerce, who, or I should say what, as an organization, is, just a huge chamber. I remember when I first moved into the area, joining multiple chambers. And the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber, is that the accurate name?
Yes, it is.
Very cool, very cool. Led by Jim Boltz, who's a great guy I've known for a while. But they do a lot of great things. And one of the things we wanted to talk about today, and get to know Annie a little bit first, but we're going to talk about a farmer's market that's going on, which is pretty cool. But first, why don't you introduce yourself to the community and also just the chamber? I mean, for those that are more consumers in the community, not necessarily small business owners. I would assume small business owners should know who the chamber is, but you can introduce yourself and the chamber.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, community.
That's right.
My name's Annie Carnes. I'm the Director of Marketing and Events at the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber. We have two offices, actually, one in Wexford off Brooktree Road, and then one actually in the Cranberry Township Municipal Building.
That's right. Yeah.
And our footprint, actually, like Dr. Bulow said, is huge. We actually run from almost the city line down in the McKnight Corridor all the way up to Beaver and partly into Butler County as well. So very huge.
Yeah. And how long have you guys been, first of all, how long have you been with the chamber? And what's that look like? What roles do you play with? You said events and marketing, right? So a lot of the branding and things like that?
Yeah, so I've been with the chamber for a little bit over a year. And I would say, being with the chamber for a little bit over a year now, I want to say halfway into my time with the chamber, COVID hit, which changed all of our roles with the chamber quite drastically. So as an events director, we had to sort of transition all of our events from in-person to virtual, and then just learning the ins and outs of that. And then my role in terms of marketing with the chamber became even larger. So we had been trying to come up with different ways where we can get more involved in the community, help these smaller businesses, businesses in general, just try and get through COVID. Yeah. So we also had to do a lot of education in terms of small business loans and working with small businesses on unemployment.
I remember when you guys did that. That was great. We did the hashtag ACT Give Back. We're going to keep doing that, by the way, the gift cards. And then we're going to do something special with the farmers market, which is started in July, right? And is going through October
23rd.
October 23rd. So tell us about that. That's at that same chamber building. Those of you that don't know, not chamber building, but municipal building. The municipal building is right on Rochester Road, kind of on the northern side of Cranberry. There's some new developments going in. I've got some patients that live in those new kind of condos and things on Rochester. You got the Dick's Sporting Complex, huge sport complex further down Rochester. So it's a good street to know if you're new to the area. But I think most people know the municipal building.
Yeah.
When is it? Is it in the front parking lot, the back parking lot?
So this Friday, tomorrow, is actually a pretty exciting day. It marks halfway of the farmers market at exactly 8 weeks, because it goes 16 weeks total. And we have previously been in the back parking lot for the farmers market, but tomorrow we're sort of doing a grand reopening of the farmers market because we're moving to the front parking lot. Super exciting. We're all very excited about this. We really believe that being in the front parking lot will engage that traffic that's on Rochester and 19. Hopefully it will increase the foot traffic at the farmers market and allow more exposure for those vendors.
And the vendors that you guys have, I think, at least 4 farms from the region, and you were saying a whole bunch of other vendors, but especially those that want fresh produce. I saw that there was even a beef, grass-fed beef farm there, which is super healthy, right? I like that kind of stuff. So maybe speak to a few of the farmers that will be there and just some of the vendors that you guys have.
Absolutely, yeah. So like Dr. Bulow said, we have 4 farms. They are Cherry Valley Farm, Sutton Farms, which is our grass-fed beef farm, Gabriel's Gardens, and Robinson Urban Farm. And in terms of the farms themselves, what's great about it is they sell what they grow. So that it's super fresh, literally right off of the farm, and you can pick it up at the farmers markets. You can do some, one-stop shopping, especially in the season of COVID, which is very helpful. And they have a variety of vegetables, fruits. Sutton Farms, actually, they take pre-orders as well. So if you just want to pick things up, you can just contact them and pre-order something. And then Robinson Urban Farm is pretty cool. They actually sell something called microgreens.
Nice.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with microgreens, they actually enhance the flavor in food, but also provide this extra nutrition.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Yeah, so that's very different. I was very unfamiliar with microgreens until they started coming to the market.
You can throw it in juicers and shakes or into your salads and all the rest.
It's really cool. And, we've got 4 farm vendors, but then we've also got probably 25 to 26 other variety of vendors that sort of rotate. Some are full-time, some are part-time. But it's really cool because there's such a variety at this market.
That's neat. What are some of your favorite? Now, first of all, I have to ask something. I almost forgot to ask this. You mentioned they sell what they grow.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that in the farmers market world, some people will sell things that they don't grow? Like that's a thing?
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen, but you know what I mean.
Just want to make sure. Not at this farmers market anyhow.
Super fresh.
So that's cool. But yeah, what are some of the highlights or some of the fun vendors that are on the non-farming category? I know you mentioned there's a RV where people can get clothing and you can actually shop through clothes and stuff.
Yeah, we actually have 2 RVs.
Wow.
Where you can actually go up in the RV and shop for clothes. It's really, really cool. We also have, a lady that sells handmade soaps. We have another person selling homemade soy candles.
Nice.
And we have somebody selling amazing kettle corn popcorn.
Always good for community events. Always good for community events.
Someone sells pet treats.
Nice.
There's a couple vendors that sell different kinds of jewelry. We have someone there selling children's books.
Oh, nice.
mean, you're talking about a variety of vendors. And your CBD store in Cranberry Township is actually there, and they sell CBD products.
Yep.
We have 2 breweries there, so you can actually pick up some beer cans to go, which is really awesome. Dented Keg, which is in Mars over at Adams Township
Shout out,
Plaza.
we did a gift card with them, yeah.
Yeah, and Recon Brewing, which you mentioned the development that's going on across the street from the municipal building. That's actually something they're calling the meter development.
Okay.
And Recon Brewing is putting a brewery there.
Oh,
so
neat.
they're going to be right across the street.
That's so cool.
And I'm thinking about moving so that I can actually just be neighbors with a brewery.
That works.
Yeah.
So this is right now until October 23rd, every Friday. And what time? I don't know if we mentioned that. What time?
So it starts at 3 and it goes until 7 every Friday.
Sounds like a great thing to be doing on a Friday, getting right before the weekend. Exactly. What else is coming up? You're running events, you're running marketing for the chamber, that sort of thing. I think you mentioned a golf outing too, just so people, those of us that are and it's not me, I say those of us, but those of us in the community at large that like to golf. Who would that, or when would that be? That's coming around the corner.
Yeah, so the Chamber has their annual golf outing. It's September 25th. It's a shotgun start at 9 a.m., so registration starts at 8, and it is at Strawberry Ridge Golf Course up in Harmony.
Nice. Yep. And I almost forgot one of the things, and then I'm going to give you the last word on behalf of yourself as a member of the community and the Chamber of Commerce, but I was talking with Annie before, and we'd like to help out and just kind of encourage people to go visit the farmers market. And so for the first 25 people that stop by the chamber table, they have a table that's right when you kind of walk into the market there. If you stop by and you mention this video, you'll get a little ticket and you can go get a half dozen ears of corn on me for yourself, for your family, just as a way of saying thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, being a part of the Around Cranberry community, to give back to these farmers, to give back to the community. I just think it's a great thing. So just mention to Annie, say, hey, I watched your video. Can I get one of those little tickets for a half dozen ears of corn? And we'll do that for the first 25 people that stop by. So other than that, Miss Annie, any last words for the community?
No, I mean, I just want to echo what you said. Just going to the farmers market, supporting these local vendors, these smaller businesses, especially in the year of COVID. The farmers market, we're trying to make successful, it'll be here next year too.
Yeah.
But this year especially, some of these vendors, this is their only outlet now to sell their product because events have been canceled. It's just a different world we're living in. So I encourage you, I implore you to go to the farmers market and, just check it out, show your support, buy something. These vendors need our support now more than ever. So
that's a great point. And it's, I almost feel bad for not hammering that more during this, because that is why we started this. I mean, in a big way to connect people with their community, but especially now, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people that are, a patient of mine that's a picker, he goes to flea markets and buys and trades and sells and all that, and they've just been decimated because all the big events have been knocked off or made not possible, etc. So to Annie's point, this is a great way to give back. I mean, it's a feel good. I mean, not only do you get competitively priced fresh produce and items and all that, but we really are giving back to our local community, which is pretty sweet. Which is pretty sweet. So good call. Thank you for bringing that back up. Of course.
Hey, that's what we live and breathe at the chamber.
That's
so
neat.
I am constantly we all are, the staff and everybody that's involved with the chamber. We're just reminding people on a daily basis to give back if you can.
Yeah, and if you guys have products or services of your own, or businesses that do, of course, I'm happy to interview them, give them a little bit of a spotlight, but at the same time, connect them with the chamber. The chamber has a lot of resources. I know they do some interviews. They have weekly networking meetings, or at least they did in person. I'm guessing it's on Zoom, things like that. So there's tons of resources that the chamber has for events and community initiatives, but then also for these businesses. So if you're a small business owner and you haven't reached out to the chamber or myself, I mean, please do. We're all here to help you. So I'm going to end it with that, Annie. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Please share. You never know who may be interested in things like this, upcoming events and local events, as well as getting some corn. So I look forward to seeing you guys around Cranberry, maybe at the farmers market. We'll see you then.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.